Okay, we're going to start this event as soon as possible right now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'inu ala umurid dunya waddin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Dean Faculty of Adab and Humanities UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, Dr. Agus Aditoni MAG, Head of Arabic Language and Literature Department UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, Mrs. Himatul Khairah SAG MPD, dear the speakers and all the participants of this online event. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya. It's a deep honor for me, Tristika, to welcome all of you to the second day of International Short Course 2021 held by the Arabic Language and Literature Department UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya with the theme Arabic Language in Indonesia. Although we meet virtually through Zoom meeting today, but hopefully we all would have the opportunity to meet each other face-to-face in the near future, inshallah. So this event will be held in 2 days. Yesterday, we have already delivered the event in full Arabic. However, today we're going to deliver this event in English. To begin today's event, let's read the Quran Surah Al-Fatihah together. Al-Fatihah. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will have 3 speakers who are first, Lutfia Alinda M. Hum MA. The second one, Muhammad Khairul Anam MLE. And the third one, Rizky Abrian M. Hum. Without further ado, let's welcome the first speaker, Mrs. Lutfia Alinda. And now I would like to read a short introductory about Mrs. Lutfia Alinda M. Hum MA. She received her bachelor degree in UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, Department of Arabic Language and Literature, and then she received 2 master degree. The first one was from State University of Yogyakarta, Indonesia, from the Translation Studies, Department of Applied Linguistics, and also from Universitas Gadjah Mada, from Literary Studies, Faculty of Arts and Humanities. And now, inshallah, she will get her PhD title soon from the Arabic and Islamic Studies, George August Göttingen University, Germany. Inshallah, we're going to pray together so that she will get this PhD title soon, inshallah. And the research fellow on Thailand studies at Chulalongkorn University, Bangkok, Thailand, in 2017. And then she also received research fellow at the Asian Graduate Student Fellowship from National University of Singapore in 2013. And right now, she is the lecturer of Islamic State University of UIN Sunan Ampel, Surabaya, in the Department of Arabic Language and Literature. And she was also a lecturer in the Language Center, Islamic State University of Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta, from 2012 until 2015. And the grants and awards, we're going to read some of them. Research grant of research on comparative studies between Thailand and Indonesia, awarded by Thailand Studies Chulalongkorn University of Bangkok, Thailand. And then she also received awards and grants from Malaysia and the Philippines, Singapore, and also from UIN Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. and the publications, she has already published her works and articles in numerous journals and also conferences. So we're not going to read them all because it will take too long time. So however, unfortunately, we haven't got any contact from her. So Mrs. Lutfia Alinda, would you please share us your email address after this? So maybe some of the participants would like to contact you through the email. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I think that's all for the introduction of the first speaker today. And Mrs. Lutfia Alinda, you will have approximately 45 minutes to deliver your presentation. After that, we're going to have a question and answer session for approximately 20 minutes. Mrs. Lutfia, time's yours.
Okay, thank you for the moderator. I will share screen. Okay, thank you for the time. Thank you for this opportunity. Dear ladies and gentlemen, here I want to share my experience about my research about Arabic code as ethnic identity on multilingualism society in Kampung Arab Ambel, Surabaya. Okay, in this opportunity, I want to explain about the history of the Arabs in Indonesia, and the second about Kampung Arab in Surabaya, and the third about how to do my reset, and then the fourth is the result, and the last is conclusion. Okay, the history of the Arab in Indonesia, how to Arab, how to Islam enter to Nusantara or in Indonesia. As we know that Islam come to the Malay archipelago directly from Arabia. This opinion confirmed the existence of traders who came from Hadramaut, Southern Arabia. It began in 8th and 9th centuries by passing the Red Sea, Mediterranean ports, and also China through the Strait of Malacca. In 1883, Snow argued about Islamization in India, so this theory is called the Indian theory. The theory states that Gujarat Muslim and Muslim traders from India were those who brought Islam into the Malay archipelago. In 1961, a scientist from Australia, Professor Jones, argues that Islamization of Malay Indonesia stemmed from Javanese literature and Malay history, namely Zufir group. Jones argues also that Arab Muslim traders who frequently visit Malay Indonesian from 8th century did not see a Muslim community until 13th century. So he argues that Sufi groups had a major influence on the Islamization of the archipelago. Okay, here I want to show how about the Kampung Arab in Surabaya, Indonesia. Yeah, Kampung Arab actually located in Surabaya in Indonesia. As we know that Indonesian has various cultural languages, it means that language in daily use not only one or bahasa ibu or original language, but also use two languages. It means bilingualism or more named multilingualism. Actually, Kampung Arab is one of the multilingual society with the multi-ethnics who speak Javanese, Maduranis, and Arabic language because most of them are Arabian, Madura, Madura ethnic, and also Javanese ethnic. Kampung Arab actually famous by wisata religi. You can see this picture. Yeah, this is wisata religi Sunan Ampel, or we call religious tourism. It is one of 9 wali. We call wali or guardian. His name is Hadi Rahmat, called by Sunan Ampel, who is born in the Kampung Arab. And so we can see from this picture that most of the people who live in Kampung Arab actually are traders. Yeah, the tourists who came to Sunan Ampel or wisata religi in Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. Okay, this is my research method. Yeah, I use qualitative. It's ethnography, and also I use sociological approach, and also the theoretical framework. I use Fishman or domain analysis. This was actually a constellation of factors, location, topics, and also participant. Domain and also define is also sociocultural conception of the topic of communication, the relationship between communicators, role, place of communicator, this part of speech community activities. Okay. Yeah, actually my data actually is the text and also the dialogue between Maduranis, Javanese, and also Arabian. And the result that I found from the dialogue between of them, actually there are 2 domains, actually formal and non-formal. However, non-formal, actually there are three variants of the dialogue. Yeah. For the first domain school, it is a formal. The participant actually teacher and student. It is Arabian, and they use Arabic Fusha. And the second one is non-formal domain. Non-formal domain, it has many cases. For the first case, the participant is 2 boys from Arabian. They use Indonesian and Arabic language, but it's not Fusha language, but Amiyah language. Actually, as we know that Arabic Fusha, it is Arabic language that structured by Arabic grammar. However, Arabic Amiyah usually like as we call bahasa pasar, ya, bahasa pasar. Yeah, they speak Arabic but not grammarly and not structured. Yeah, it is Amiyah. And the second case is non-formal domain. The participant Arabian and Javanese, and what they speak about the language. They speak Arabic, Javanese, and Indonesian language. And then the third, non-formal domain, also the participant actually are two boys, but both of them are educated, so they speak Arabic Fusha. And the last one is non-formal domain, the participant Arabian and also Maduranis, and they speak Maduranis, Arabic, and Indonesian. So from the data, I take the conclusion that Arabic code is always used by Arab ethnic in interacting with other ethnics, either Javanese or Maduranis. It is a form of Arab identity that always negotiate with multilingual society. However, Arabic Fusha is only used in formal situation, and the participants are usually among the educated speakers. But Amia usually spoken in public places like market shop or stores. And how about Indonesia? Indonesia language also used in daily life. Indonesian language is the negotiate language for all ethnic for daily speaking, either informal domain or non-formal domain. I think enough for my presentation. If there are any question or some statement that you should to ask me, please. Thank you, Ibu Tristi.
Okay, thank you very much for Miss Violinda. So she has already explained her research, which is the switching code as an Arab Hadrami identity in Indonesian Islam. So at first, she explained that how the traders from Arab entered Indonesia, and then they brought the Arabic culture as well as Islam itself in Indonesia and spread them. And also, she started to explain Kampung Arab in Surabaya, right, Mrs. Violinda, where we can see the tomb of Sunan Ampel. So Sunan Ampel is one of the 9 guardians or wali in Indonesian who spread Islam in Java Island. And yeah, UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya is taken from the name of the guardian, Sunan Ampel. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, you may ask Mrs. Lutfia here. You may use the raise hand feature in the Zoom meeting, or you can also type them down in the chat box in Zoom meeting. Okay, we're going to open the question and answer session. We're going to receive, or we're going to accept 2 questions first. Okay, while we're waiting for any participants who wants to ask questions, so I would like to ask Ms. Ruth. Oh yeah, there's one. Okay, Mrs. Lutfia, are you going to answer them now? Okay, one question from Mr. Kai, is Mr. Kai El Fatih. Most of Arabian in Indonesia always become a trader. What the factor and why, and what's the reason behind that? That is his question. Why most of the Arabians in Indonesia always become traders? Maybe not all of them, but most of them. So what is the reason? Yeah, this is something that I am curious of too. Mrs. Lutfia, so time's yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak. Thank you, Pak Kai El Fatih. Okay. Yeah, as we know that most of Arabian actually they are traders. But why? This question a bit difficult for me to answer, but actually maybe it's based on what our prophet Nabi Muhammad did. Yeah, I think we still remember that one of hadith or said that the best job actually is traders. But actually, I don't know it is inspiring the Arabian or not. But my focus here is not the original is not the original Arabian, but the Arabian who live in Indonesia, because it's related to how Islam entered Nusantara, how Islam entered to the archipelago or Indonesia. As we know that one of the theory about Islamization actually said that Islam has brought by Arabian traders to Indonesia, and they live in Indonesia, they married with Indonesian, and they have baby and beranak cucu. So it's mean that trading is one of the factor the Arab live in Indonesia and grow up here, live here, and they have family. So the theory about Islamization that brought by traders, it is true, and it also practiced in Indonesia. So actually, when they go to Nusantara, they live, they trade, they married, and they make a family, and they still continue as a traders. I think that is my response for Pak Kai. Actually, I do not focus on why they are traders, but yeah, for the first time, yeah, maybe they are inspiring from the hadith or the statement, or from the job that our prophet did. I think it is Miss Tristi.
Okay, so Mrs. Lutfia has answered that maybe one of the main reason of why most of the Arabians came to Indonesia and they become traders is just because they do the sunnah of Rasulullah SAW, right? Yeah. However, her research here is actually about the code switching, about the languages in Indonesia, especially in Kampung Arab, Surabaya. Between several dialects that can be found in Kampung Arab. Okay, Mr. Kai, do you have any feedback with this answer? Okay, I think he's already satisfied with his answer. Thank you very much, Mrs. Lutfia. Okay, there is one participant, Miss Ian. Did you just raise your hand? Are you going to give question to Mrs. Lutfia?
Okay, thank you, Miss Tristi Kartika Fiaunillah. I want to give us question to Miss Lutfia Alinda. Maybe I think this is a very interesting study or research, and it's very necessary to update the data every year. And I'm curious about the condition of this Arab village during the pandemic. How about your idea? Is there a significant change from the visitors, or is it still busy until now? Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Lutfia, time shares to answer this question.
Okay, thank you for Miss Iin Norzulaidi for the question. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how about the situation right now, but but I can imagine that the situation is not busy like before. Yeah, because as we know that some the place for recreation, I think some of them are closed and cannot open for some months. So I think it's can be changed. I think it's not only for the Kampung Arab only, but for all the sectors. I think there are many changes. There are many changes highly for situation starting the pandemic situation. However, I think today uh, it's not close. I think, yeah, I think because the pandemic is lower than before, but the condition I think changed, especially for the traders. Yeah, because as we know that there are many traders there, from Javanese, Maduranis, and also Arabian as the people who live in Kampung Arab. Yeah, there are many changes, I think, but what is exact, actually I do not know exactly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. So, Miss Iin, do you have any feedback for this answer?
Yes, I get. Thank you very much, Miss Alinda.
Okay, thank you very much for both Miss Iin and Mrs. Sophia Alinda. Okay, so now we're going to accept two other questions, and then after maybe we can move to the second speaker. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you may give questions to Mrs. Lutfia Alinda through the raise hand feature, or just type it down in the chat box in the Zoom meeting. I think it is very interesting that most of the participants are interested not in the code switching or the dialects that are used in the Kampung Arab, but they are interested in the condition of Kampung Arab Surabaya. So I believe that most of us, especially those who live in Surabaya, Indonesia, have already visited or at least know about this place, Kampung Arab Indonesia. However, for all of you participants who are maybe from other countries or from international, you may visit Kampung Arab Surabaya so that you can also maybe do research about the cultures in Kampung Arab. Okay, if there is no further question, that Mrs. Alinda, would you like to give a closing statement to your presentation?
Okay, thank you, Ibu Tristi, Miss Tristi, not Ibu ya. Okay, for the conclusion, yeah, actually I'm a bit confused about what is what should I conclude for this reason, because I just share my conclusion. However, actually I want to conclude that we live in the pluralism society. We have many ethnic, we have many languages, and we have original language or bahasa ibu that we use in daily life informal domain. So what should we do? We should seek and continues our tradition about a local language like Javanese, like Sundanese, like Maduranese, or whatever. Even though international languages has grow up rapidly among us as the student, as the teachers, and also as the lecturer, and also as the researcher. So I think Indonesian language is always in our heart as the bahasa ibu, as original languages. And also we should teach our next generation, for example, our children, for example, our students, to always speak and continue tradition about local language. I think it's enough, Miss Tris.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Lutfia Alinda. Okay, so
Welcome.
although we have so many international languages to study, but please do not forget our first language, our bahasa ibu in Indonesian. Okay, thank you very much. So fortunately, our event will not take much time because, yeah, this is a very good thing to do. And now, without further ado, we're going to go to the second session with the second speaker, who is Mr. Khairul Anam. Okay, let me read the short introductory about our second speaker today. Okay, for Mr. Muhammad Khairul Anam, he lives in Sukamanunggal, Surabaya. You can contact him through email, moh.khairul465@gmail.com, or the WhatsApp number. Or maybe you can also contact him through the short course WhatsApp group. Yeah, I believe that he is also there in our group. He received his bachelor degree from Universitas Diponegoro, Indonesia, linguistics in 2000 and I'm sorry, the bachelor degree was from STAIN Kediri, from Tadris Bahasa Inggris or English Education Department in 2012, and then after that he also received his master degree from Universitas Diponegoro, Indonesia, from linguistics in 2019. And now he is a lecturer in UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, a linguistic lecturer in the Faculty of Dawah and Communication. He is also an editor assistant in the journal entitled Parol, Universitas Diponegoro. He was also a community liaison and community liaison warden in Peace Corps Indonesia. And he was also a lecturer in IAIN Kediri. So I think that he already has many experiences in becoming a lecturer and also holding researches. And that's it for our second speaker. And now today, he will deliver research entitled letter sound correspondences in learning a language. So Mr. Khairul Anam, you will have approximately 45 minutes to deliver your presentation. After that, we're going to hold a question and answer session. So time's yours.
Thank you very much, Ms. Christy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay, I don't know what time you are now, but here is good afternoon. Good afternoon, all here. Are you okay today? Okay. Yes. First of all, before I start my presentation, I would like to say that I have been like speak English 2 years or 3 years ago, but if you find my English not proficient enough, so I'm sorry so much, because yeah, you know that if we don't use our language, I mean like we don't use any language that we relearn, and we keep so much time, and then like push away, and then everything goes on. So we would like to discuss about language proficiency in terms of letter and sound correspondences. Before I share my my PPT, so PowerPoint, first, that have you ever thought that we sometimes say that language has like writing system and phonological system is so much different, like in English. So like writing system and phonological or sound system is like far away. They have distance. They have like something that don't connect. Something that doesn't connect between each other. But you know that there are some language that language is phonetic language and some others is non-phonetic language. Meaning that phonetic language means that like Bahasa Indonesia, maybe like Arabic also, that they have one-to-one single correspondences. I mean like alif, and in the pronunciation is also a or e or u, depends on the vowel. Like in Bahasa Indonesia also, we have some like not irregular, but some variation of the sounds. Like a, we have 3 at least sounds between a and e. But I don't think that this in some languages has this variation of sound. And think about that. So first, that we have to know that there are many languages that they have different system, writing system, and also different sound system. I mean sound system, not sound system for music, but sound system of the language. Okay, let me share my PowerPoint. Whoa, host disable participant screen sharing. Would you please, Mr. Steve or someone else? Okay, thank you very much. Wait a sec. Wait, where's my? Wait, wait. Oh, this one. Is it on your screen? Hello, guys. Is it on your screen? Is my PPT on your screen
Yes,
now?
yes,
Yes,
yes, we
okay,
can
thank
see
you.
it.
So now we will, or maybe like chit chat or small talking about this letter sound correspondences. Okay, so okay, this is the why or background why this this topic is really important for, at least for my point of view. First is like argumentation. When we talk, when we speak, when we have communication, when we have utterances between each other, between I or you as a speaker and the interlocutor for the second speaker. One point thing that we have to know that the pronunciation is one of the important things that we have to master. Like what's it? Newton and Nation and Turing Murno say that if you want to have like perfect pronunciation or between you as a speaker and the interlocutor, one point thing is the pronunciation is clear enough. Like what I say, if we study language, you have friends from overseas, and they try to speak their our language with their own way of speaking, of their own way of pronunciation. Sometimes we think that we have different reference, like if we talk about semantics of the linguistic science. So reference between interlocutor and speaker, we have to the same image. We say the same image. When speaker and interlocutor have the same image, the communication will go fluently or will go perfectly. Or some like this one, Miss Alinda. I think she knows better about German. So like when, but someone else when they don't German, for example, like this one, Stark is German language. If I say Stark, maybe most of you don't understand what Stark means. If I say Stark, Miss Alinda, I'm sure she understands what I mean. Or maybe if I say di tas tatoer, or maybe I say di tas tatoer is like this keyboard. If I say like that one, so means that we have to same reference. And if I say different pronunciation, maybe they have different perspective of what I say. For example, in what that they have almost the same structure, almost the same sound. Or maybe like in the Indonesia, for example, there is the word in Japanese language actually, cassette and cassette. If someone wants to say cassette, but they say, he says cassette, so means that the reference, the picture between speaker and interlocutor far away. So they have different perspective. They have different points of view. I mean, they have different understanding about what they are talking about. So means that pronunciation is so much important, at least from Nation and Newton perspective. Haber also says that mispronounce always happen to the word that is unfamiliar. Like you never see, you never heard about the language, you never heard about the word, you never heard about the sounds, because every single word, if we slice one by one of the word, they consist of single or maybe second or maybe single or double sounds. We can say digraph or monograph, diphthong or monophthong, something like that. So that mispronounce always happen that the word that unfamiliar, and also mispronounce always happen to cognate words. Cognate words is like a word that they have the same structure as it's usually happen to the word that borrowing word or own word. Like in Indonesia, for example, apple loans from English word apple. apple and apple. So this is like influence the way of Indonesian people speaking. When they say apple or apple, they say apple because this is a connected word. So this sometimes happen to the connected words mispronounced. And why it's happened? Because the orthography system, or the writing system of language, language, one language and another language is different. Yeah, much of some of those same but much of them, many of them is different. Okay, so this is the background why letter and sound correspondences is so much important. Okay, what's the experience like when I was a student? When I was a student, I once say to my English teacher, what's your aspiration? He asked me to me, and then I answered, I want to be an entrepreneur. What entrepreneur? What entrepreneur? He didn't understand. Why? He didn't understand because the way he says entrepreneur is not entrepreneur, but entrepreneur. So what keep in their mind, in his mind about the word we say that entrepreneur in writing is entrepreneur. The way he speaks, the way the utters for the word is entrepreneur. When he listens, actually the same word, but the way to talk, the way to talk somebody else to him is different. So he doesn't get the picture. Yeah, I said the reference to the picture. So the communication didn't go fluently. As a teacher, also when I say like teacher, when I was English teacher. Long time ago, really long time ago. So I found my student when they are like they say enough, but they said Enoch, because the structure because the writing system is ENOUGH, Enoch. The way Indonesian people say the writing system is Enoch. What is Enoch? What is Enoch? Oh, enough. That's the problem also. Again, when the pronunciation doesn't go correctly, communication doesn't go fluently. Okay, and also student and friends also when we talk about something else and when we talk in English. Okay, I like this example word, sample word case, like target or target or target or target. You can find and look up your dictionary. Gesture or gesture, or target or target. Yeah, you need to keep in mind. Angle, angel, anger, finger, anger or anger, finger or finger, hunger or hunger. This one, hanger or hanger. Wow, it's so much different. And also in English, in Arabic, maybe like husnul. In Indonesia, better husnul, yeah, husnul. Transliteration, Arabic translation. I used Arabic translation. Husnul or husnul. So the correct one is husnul. But maybe some people that they don't speak Arabic and they try to speak Arabic, maybe like this, maybe this mistake, maybe this is error. Depends on the case. Husnul or husnul. So it can depend on the case. Okay, happen in the people. Alhamdulillah or alhamdulillah, or some like you find in Japanese people. Some people, Japanese people say that alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Why? Well, I said alhamdulillah because in Japanese structure, writing structure, we don't have a ha sound, but they have a ka sound. So they try to use ka to substitute ha. Alhamdulillah, and somewhere like astaghfirullahalazim and astaghfirullahalazim. This happens around us here in Indonesia. Okay, why this really again urgency? First, Yates says that a comment that with correct pronunciation are to other areas. He explains. But the learners with poor pronunciation will not be understood, even when, for instance, their grammar is perfect. Yeah, maybe again, when we talk about the communication between speaker and the interlocutor or someone around us is not only structure, not only syntax, not only again only pronunciation also, but we have something else that they works together to make the communication works well. The communication goes well. Again, but again, when from some cases that I shared to you, that pronunciation has an important role in this case, like what I said to you. Okay. Crichton says that without correct and clear pronunciation, learners may not be able to understand the native speakers. This is what happened to me. That I said to you when I was a student, and I said entrepreneur, but my teacher, my lecturer, didn't understand entrepreneur. What's entrepreneur? And also again, when I was like as a community liaison in Peace Corps Indonesia, one of the voluntary organization from US. Community liaison, they have volunteer from US, and when they try to trap me, how to say shit or shit, shit or shit. This is like a sound E and A. E and A, they have different meaning, and the meaning is, you know, shit and shit. So they tried to trap me, but unfortunately, they didn't get me. Okay, this one, learners may not be able to understand the native speaker of the language they are learning and be purely perceive of them. Yeah, the case what I talked to you, this what happened to me also. Okay, successful communication therefore cannot take place without good pronunciation. Maybe it can, but maybe need more effort to understand. Like when you first time meet someone else that they try to speak on your language. Do you first time understand? Maybe if they have good pronunciation, it's okay. But if they don't have good pronunciation, yeah, maybe you need time to perceive what they talk to you, what they utter to you, what they speak to you, what they converse to you. What's it? Something like that. So successful communication therefore cannot take place without good pronunciation. Okay, we understand not only good pronunciation, but good pronunciation have a good important role in communication. Pronunciation has important social value and is related to prestige. Learners with pronunciation errors may be judged as uneducated, lacking knowledge, or incompetence. Yeah, this happened in some area. That like when you see that people speak English in our area, or maybe in your area in Arab Peninsula, and or here in Nusantara, Indonesia, when someone speak English, wow, he looks cool. She looks wow, educated, and this happened in our social life. So it means that if we speak language that we have like they have value, diglosia, if we talk about social linguistic, they have high value. So things like the people will have high social life, health, social level. Yeah, this happening about environment. So why this is important? At least there are two reasons. Or I can say here. First, to write or to type word, to write and to type word. First, language learners. If here in Indonesia, when we are studying another language, we use our own perspective of reading the letter. If fortunately, Arabic has one-to-one correspondence, so it means that Indonesian people can slightly pronounce good or better pronunciation rather than was it English or another language. The other language. Problem first language learner and second language are different. I have found that problem with pronunciation also not pronunciation. The problem with the letter happens to American or English speaker. They know how to pronounce, but they don't know how to write. Because the first time when they are studying language, also when we are studying language, when we studied language, first time we listen, not read. Like when we are baby, like when we were toddler and something like that, that we know the word around us from sound. Means that they know, they make a picture in their mind, and then they can catch. When they listen that sound, or they catch the picture in their mind. But when they see the word writing structure, so means that they need more effort to understand. Yeah, that's their problem. Their problem. Our problem is in contrary. So we know how to write, how to pronounce well. We don't know how to speak the word. That is problem between two area, first language learner and second language learner. So why it's happened to the, maybe this is like a theory. Why this happened? Because first time, when we see a language, when we see sound, when we keep the word it can be structured, it can be writing, it can be sound. Actually, in our mind, mental lexicon, it's like a bank of language or bank of vocabulary in our mind. This is mental lexicon. So before the word comes into our mind is like encoding the input. It can be the word that we see, it can be the sound that we heard. So, or we listen. So what we first time perceive, what we first time understand, what we first time record the input, that is what we will use, because the word or the structure or the sound we keep in our mental lexicon, in our bank of vocabulary in our mind, so that the use will the word or the sound we will use on and on. So that's why when someone first time learn another language, so the best thing is give the best input, the best pronunciation, the best writing and etc. So happen to Indonesia, to Indonesian people, that maybe like student like high school student, they know how to write because they learn about English, or Indonesian people learn English from writing. So they know how to write, but they don't know how to pronounce well. So what they keep, or maybe they learn the writing and the pronunciation, but the pronunciation is not correct one. So that's why maybe that's a big problem here in Indonesia when they study another language. Maybe like when they are studying. Some example that I gave you, some previous slides, that maybe some people say Alhamdulillah or Astaghfirullahalazim, and the correct one is Astaghfirullahalazim. Like that. So first time they learn, first time they get the input, so that that will store in their mental lexicon or bank of vocabulary in mind. Okay. Yeah, why it is important again? So minimal pairs in standard Arabic. I got it from the Google. So please, if you find any like a mistake, so you can write the correct one. Okay, like amal and amal. So in Indonesia, amal, but it happens when, for example, when you do not pay attention much about pronunciation and you speak to Arabic people or you speak to Indonesian people, you means that the word amal, but you say amal. So the perceive or the understanding of the people or interlocutor or second person will be different. Also, like what I told you some previous slide. Su'al and su'al is much different. Question and kaf. The way that is pronunciation is really important. For example, for the understanding between communication between two people, that they have what is convention. What convention? So between speaker and interlocutor. Like that one. Okay. For example, Taufik here is Arabic scholar. I mean, like Arabic master scholar. So when I speak to Mas Taufik, for example, Mas Taufik, what is the shoe? What is the I have amal, for example. I don't know how to speak Arabic. I'm sorry. So I have amal. I have amal. What's amal? Yes, my work, my work, my deed. Oh no, that's not amal, but amal. Oh, that's why pronunciation is really important. Okay, but especially for minimal pairs. Minimals in every language. In every language, like in Indonesia, we have photo. Yeah, we have also in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, maybe you can learn to next speaker. Okay. Now, what's the impact? What's the impact? Indonesian exists sound, not in Arabic. So we have sound. Every single language, they have different on sound. I mean, like they have special on sound, and the other language doesn't have the sound that another language has. For example, this one, Indonesian exists sound, but not in Arabic. Like monophthong, I don't know exactly. P, puh. I don't find. Like in Hijaiyah, I don't find. Puh. And ch, the sound ch. C for the grapheme or for the writing, and sound is ch. I can find. And also the variation of A. Here in Indonesia, we have A, O, A, at least there are 4. A, O, and E. So I don't find like Arabic. Does Arabic have this sound? I don't know. So you can correct me later on. Okay. And also O. There are variations. O, R, R. So and ny, ny, ny. I don't find also ny like in banyak, many, nyanyi, sing, nyanyi, sing, and ng, ng. So like this symbol like ngeri or abang. This monophthong. Monophthong. I mean, yes, monophthong. This monophthong. And diphthong also we have oi, a, and I mean like Indonesian S, but and maybe I don't know, but this way so that I put question mark here because I put from Jauhar here. So maybe this they don't have, maybe they has. I mean Arabic doesn't have, but maybe Arabic has this one. I'm not sure, but I'm sure Arabic doesn't have this one because they don't have sound O and A. That is okay. Consonant cluster also consonant cluster. GL like in clinic, GL like in gladi or gladi, glamour, glodok, glukosa, joglo, etc. DR, drama, Dracula, and many others consonant cluster. If one language has that another language doesn't have, it may be problematic. It may be problem also. Why? Because the another language, the language, I mean like Arabic people, when they try to speak Indonesian, and they try to speak this kind of word that I saw in this slide, maybe the error or mistake will happen. This happens. So that's why the learning or instructing to learn the pronunciation of language, especially for this kind of structure, this kind of word or grapheme in another language is so much important. Okay, and there's strata, strategy, etc. Also, this happened. Arabic as a sound, but not in Indonesia. This also will have what is it? Will make Indonesian people have difficulties to speak or to pronounce this word, like in hadith, hadith. Hadith. Some people may say hadith, and some people may say hadith, etc. And also ha. We don't have ha here. Some ha. Ho. The. Sh. Sho. I mean. So this is. I mean same. No. I mean. Sorry. It's actually the same software in this. And dot, and ayin, green, and off. So if you find any mistake in my pronunciation, so I'm sorry. So yeah, that's what I know about Arabic. So that's the sound that we have don't have in Indonesia. So maybe this will be problem in Indonesian people when they speak Arabic. Okay, and Nasruddin 2017 in his research said Arabic atas Indonesian language case of Sheikh Ali Jabir Belid. So like he sees some problem. Maybe this can be mistake. Maybe this can be errors, but I don't find in his research about this either mistake or error. So like permohonan becomes permohonan. Request, permohonan is request, permohonan. So like permohonan become P become P pakai by. Arabic people doesn't have the sound pantas that we have to know. Okay, perbanyak becomes banyak ya, because Arabic doesn't have new sound from here. The pronunciation is not perfect. Berbanyak, Syekh Ali Jabir Belid says berbanyak, banyak banyak, many, and amalan ya, this amalan ya, his or intinya. So why this happen? Because Arabic doesn't have the sounds, the kind of sounds in their own system, language system. Again, so amalan. Again, amalan become amalan. Pay attention to this glottal. I think this glottal sounds. Amalan. Amalan. Jumat. And ulama. So this he says like what's it more perfect like Arabic people says, but ulama he used their own way to say the language or the word that the word comes from Arabic, like ulama. Ilmu, we say ilmu, but he says ilmu. Memanfaatkan, this again problem. Memanfaatkan. Manfaat. Yeah, this manfaat. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, but this from data manfaat and I mean utilize. Salawat. I'm sorry. Salawat. Hadith. So like a perfect pronunciation based on their own way, his own way to speak to others to pronounce this kind of word. Hikmah, because hikmah is also from Arabic. So this case too, he tries to speak to others to pronounce perfect pronunciation based on Arabic people way, pronunciation way. I mean, Arabic people pronunciation way. Yeah, but different from the first one, because the first one is from Indonesian language, and this is from Arabic language, Arabic word that is followed by Indonesian language system. Case 3, like sedikit becomes sedikit. This is sedikit becomes sedikit, as little of you. Why? Because again, Arabic doesn't have this kind of sound. So he tries to like substitute with another language, with another sound that which is like close to. So the way he changed the words. The word sedikit becomes sedikit. Maybe he found difficulties when he tried to speak sedikit or few, meaning in English few. Berarti. He said berarti. So again, doesn't have a, and he changed to a. Meaningful, berarti meaningful. Terlihat and terlihat looked. Again, why it happens? What as what I said in the first slide, when English or second slide, sorry, when a language doesn't have system or does have similarity in writing system or sound system, the speaker will have difficulties when they try to speak the language like this one. And maybe also when I try to speak Arabic. I don't know the way to have good articulation, makharijul huruf. I don't know how to produce good makharijul huruf in perfect. I mean perfect makharijul huruf in Arabic. So maybe this also will make was it problem when I speak to someone who really understand or someone speak Arabic. That's why pronunciation is not really important. Okay, the pattern what the case in Sal Jabir relate is P become B like pakai baju, P become F, P become F, pantas, fantas, C become J, cobaan, test or trial, become cobaan. Again, become N, seseorang, seorang. So why unsound here was it Amit? Why unsung here is Amit? Because Arabic doesn't have this one, this sound, and also nya become nya, and like two sound an and anya, like the word anya. Okay, why it happened? If you see that P become P for and if you see from Roman Jacobson, he says that minimal vocalic system, there are two at least, minimal vocalic system and minimal consonant system. People will try to use the sound that they have in their own language first. People will try to substitute the word that their own language has. I mean, like they try to substitute the word that they easily pronounce the word. Example this one, why P become B here and why P become F? We need more research here. Why P become P here? Because P and P is in the same place of articulation almost. P and P, P and P, bilabial, stop bilabial, P and P. So this is voice and voiceless. This voice and voiceless. So they try to speak the easy one. P become T also maybe, and M become M. We need more research about this one. But this is the people that have. This is the sound that the people on the language has in their own language from Roman Catholics. So again, what to need to focus. This is from my thesis research. So I researched in my thesis. I collected almost 30,000 words, and I found this formula about letter sound correspondence, or in my thesis I said grapheme phoneme correspondency. There are at least 6 this ones 1 2 3 4 5 okay. This is syllable, word origin, word class, and canonical form, syllable, and position. This one, 1 2 3 4 5 6, at least 6 what is it? 6 factors that we have to concern if we want to see the structure, the underlying structure of the letter sound correspondence. First is position. Either the position of the sound is at the initial, middle, and final. Because maybe Arabic people can say maybe what is it? Abang is like is red, for example, in Japanese, or maybe big brother, abang, big brother. But ang sound falls into at the end or final. But maybe they don't know how when the sound comes at the final, at the middle or initial, like in what's it, ngabuburit. For instance, ngabuburit, maybe they don't know how to speak, how to way to pronounce it. Maybe so need more syllable. Either the sound between one sound in another sound in one sentence, in one word, like was it what, for example, what is it? Table. So either P and L in one, for example, either P and L in word table is in one syllable or not in one syllable. So this also includes the correspondence. Canonical form, what letter sound or sound split around in the targeted letter. So what sound or what letter around the word is also influenced the sound of the targeted letter. What origin, like community, what is it? Like prestige. Why the pronunciation is prestige? Because prestige is from French language, so the pronunciation is prestige, or maybe what else? Or genre. This from France, French language. Word class also. Word class is open or closed class, means that either the class is open, like in bahasa Indonesia buku u, because it's open, buku u, and close is like book, because we don't have vowel after the consonant. We don't have vowel after the consonant is closed. We have vowel at the end of the sound at the end of the word, that means open, and also I mean in syllable here. Okay. That's all what I can present here. What we have to know that about the pronunciation, especially for letter sound correspondence, is we have to pay attention more about the way we pronounce. I know we don't have like perfect pronunciation. Maybe we don't have any perfect pronunciation for foreign learner or a second language or foreign language learner, but we can try to have good pronunciation from the letter sound correspondences. When we have good pronunciation, the communication can go fluently, can go perfectly. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Tristi.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Khairul Anam. So he has already explained about the letter sound correspondence between Arabic and Indonesian especially. So actually, yeah, this in Indonesia especially, there has been many problems caused by this, about how is the correct way to transliterate Arabic in Indonesian. For example, the words inshallah, or the words what is that, husnul khotimah. Yeah, some of them uses ha sound, ha letter, and then the other people, they use the ka ha, and then this causes many problems and misunderstandings. However, Mr. Khairul Anam here has already explained that there are many ways in doing the transliteration, and then we also know the phonological system and also the phonetical system of Arabic when it is pronounced by the Indonesians, and vice versa when the Indonesians are pronounced by the Arabics. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to hold a question and answer session. You may ask question to Mr. Khairul Anam by using the feature of raise hand in the Zoom meeting, or you can just write them down in the chat box. Okay, while we are waiting for any participant to ask question, maybe Mr. Khairul Anam, what do you think about that I said to you that we have many problems in Indonesia, especially caused by the transliteration, because there are many disagreements about how is the correct way to transliterate certain words in Arabic. And for Indonesians, there will be many negative effects. For example, we will be sinful if we write down husnul khotimah as kaha husnul khotimah. Is that really is it really a big problem for us if we use the incorrect transliteration, or is there no incorrect transliteration? Because I don't think that there is no incorrect transliteration, but how do you think about this? Okay, I'm sorry, but you're still muted.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so this happened also when I say to my student here in universities, like when you say Amin, when we say right down in our WhatsApp chatting, Amin with double A, double A, and one A. It's some people said that that's different. They have different meaning, or maybe like Inshallah. When say in and space sha, insha and space Allah, and also insha and Allah, and insha Allah becomes what problem thing is when people, community people, I will say, I will use perspective of social linguistic perspective. When we have like a convention, when you have convention, when convention of using like word or using of language, use this convention in their community. Because when I say Amin, when I read Amin, I will use Arabic transliteration, normal Arabic transliteration. A, like what's it, small line, up small line, and M and I, small line, up small line, and N. I will use this in my community. If someone else chat to me and just different way of my convention, it's okay. The problem is when we use our standard to someone else's standard, that will be a problem. So in structure, we have like a level structure and deep structure, or syntactical structure, and also semantical structure. When we use this kind of structure, we only see a syntactical structure. Between the way of, like a semantical structure, who knows? Only who use this language. So it means that it's okay for me if I use Amin or I use Inshallah. I use in my community. If someone else just, they have different point of view, they have different standard, they have different convention about the way that we have actually set in common. It's okay, but the problem is don't judge other people with our standard. Don't measure other people with our standard. That will be a problem in our social life. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We're still waiting for any participant who wants to ask question about the letter sound correspondence in Arabic and Indonesian. I think that everyone here has already understood about everything that has been explained. Okay, if there is no question, because we're also running out of time. Thank you very much for Mr. Koirul Anam for delivering your presentation. If any one of you from the participants who wants to ask question directly to Mr. Koirul Anam, maybe you can contact him through the email, and you can ask him from the WhatsApp group, because we have already a WhatsApp group created by the group to have a little bit of break time here. We're going to have approximately 5 minutes of break. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can you can get some snacks or make some coffee, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and then we're going to see each other again 5 minutes later. However, please don't go anywhere. Please stay in your seat. And while we're enjoying the break time, the committee will play the video of introduction of the UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya and also the Faculty of Adab and Humanities.
Program Studi Bahasa dan Sastra Arab berdiri sejak 26 Oktober 1966 atau 11 Rajab 1386 Hijriah, yang merupakan program studi tertua pada saat itu bernama IAIN Sunan Ampel. Namun pada tanggal 1 Oktober 2013, berdasarkan Peraturan Presiden Republik Indonesia Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, IAIN Sunan Ampel ditetapkan berubah menjadi UIN Sunan Ampel. Inilah beberapa lulusan dari program studi Bahasa dan Sastra Arab. Selama menempuh kuliah di program studi Bahasa dan Sastra Arab, mahasiswa akan dibimbing oleh para dosen-dosen yang berkualitas. Dosen program studi Bahasa dan Sastra Arab terdiri dari beberapa profesor dan dosen-dosen lulusan luar negeri seperti Jerman, Mesir, dan Sudan. Program studi Bahasa dan Sastra Arab juga menjalin kerjasama dengan perguruan-perguruan tinggi di luar negeri. Mahasiswa juga akan dibimbing oleh wali studi. Di samping itu, mahasiswa akan belajar bersama dalam kegiatan-kegiatan program studi, Himapru, UKM-UKM, dan organisasi kampus lainnya. Siswa Bahasa dan Sastra Arab diharapkan lulus tepat waktu, yaitu 7-8 semester, lulus, wisuda, dan menjadi manusia yang lebih bermartabat, dibutuhkan dan siap bersaing di masyarakat. Selamat bergabung menjadi mahasiswa Bahasa dan Sastra Arab. Manjadda Wajada.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the International Short Course 2021 held by the Arabic Language and Literature Department of UIN Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. So we're going to the third session, which is also the last session of today. The speaker will be Mr. Rizky Abrian. So I'm going to read the short introductory about our third speaker for today's event. Okay, Mr. Rizky Abrian, SSM whom he received his bachelor degree from Universitas Negeri Surabaya or State University of Surabaya in the Indonesian Language and Literature Department in 2014, and then he received his master degree from Universitas Airlangga in 2017 from the Kajian Sastra dan Budaya Department. And then you can contact him from this email. There are 2 email addresses, abianrizky@gmail.com or risk_abian@yahoo.com. And then you can also find him on the WhatsApp. And this is his number. You can also write them down. And this is also the social media. Maybe if you want to add more celebrams to your contacts, you can also follow him on this social media. Oh, he is also very active on TikTok, Pak Rizky. And he is now a lecturer in UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya in the Faculty of Dakwah and Communication as a lecturer of Indonesian language. And before that, he was also a BIPA lecturer or BIPA teacher, which stands for Bahasa Indonesia untuk penutur asing or Indonesian for foreign language, foreign people, foreign speakers, since 2018 until 2020. And then he also has joined various workshops and trainings. And that's all for our third speaker today. And now I would like you to welcome our third speaker, Mr. Abian. And he will explain to you about the Arabic loan words in Indonesian language. So you will receive an explanation from the expert, the expert of Indonesian language. Okay, Mr. Rizky Abrian, you will have approximately 45 minutes to deliver your presentation. After that, we're going to have question and answer session. Time's yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Tristi, for the opportunity. For the first, I will say thank you for the Dean of Faculty of Adab and Humanities, the Head Department of Arabic Language and Literature. And it was an honor to be in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, because I will talk about loanwords, Indonesian loanwords in Indonesia. Basically, I was BIPA. BIPA is Indonesian language for foreigner. Jadi, so if you are foreigner and you want to learn bahasa Indonesia, you can ask to me, or I have so many friends about Indonesia bahasa Indonesia teaching. But before I start, I hope you grab your own tea or your hot chocolate, maybe just drink. So in Surabaya already have rain, rain season, so it's getting colder than before. So you just grab like warm water. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Shalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. La haula wala quwata illa billah. Ahlan wa sahlan fi UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya. Welcome to our university, UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, and I will share a story. Maybe just share a story because our previous speaker already shared a lot of theory that's very comprehensive and very detailed. Then let me share my presentation. Is it already seen for the audience? Sorry, it's Arabic loanwords in Indonesian language. Then, as we know that Indonesia have a biggest population, Muslim population in the world. There are 231 million people who is Muslim estimated, but before that big amount is happen in Indonesia, big amount of Muslim happen in Indonesia. There is a long story before Islam come to Indonesia. And the first, just like Miss Alinda tell about, there are so many theory about Islam come to Indonesia for the first time. It can be from Hadramaut and from Saudi Arabia, since from 7th or 8th century. But also there are a theory from Indian Muslim or Islam Indian theory that say Indian or Gujarat. Or some people say with Persian is come to Indonesia. Basically, they come just like another person who came from overseas, from far place, come using ship. They don't have plane at that era. They're using ships. Usually, they use trade, selling commodities, just like Arabic, Chinese, or another place. They come to another place to sell their commodities and using trading. But also this Muslim trader not only have a trade or business with the local in Indonesia. Before Indonesia have freedom from the colonialism, this area called by Nusantara. So when Arabic trader or Persian or Gujarat trader come to Indonesia, it's also teaching Islam. They introduce Islam to the local people and marry. There is Miss Alinda already talked about marry with local, that it then make a family, then growing up the community, and basically they introduce Islam using the soft approach, not using like war or conquering place, then become push the people in there to follow the Islam. No, they're using a soft approach. So Islam is more welcome, acceptable by the local in Nusantara. Then what happened after that era when Islam first time come to Indonesia? Before Islam come to Indonesia, it's separated by some island, yeah, it's archipelago. So Indonesia is separated by island like Sumatra, Java, Borneo, and the others. So every region have their kingdom. But basically before Islam come, the kingdom in Indonesia, in Nusantara, is basically from Hindu or Buddha-based religion-based kingdom. It's just like Majapahit Kingdom, it's like Sriwijaya Kingdom, Kutai Kingdom in Borneo, Sriwijaya in Sumatra, Majapahit in Java, Singosari, Old Mataram Kingdom, and any kingdom that has existed at that era. Then gradually, because Islam is developing, growing, and it will change, shifting from Hindu Buddha kingdom into Islam kingdom. Then there will appear like Samudra Pasai, then Demak Kingdom, Mataram Islam before the old Mataram, then changed into Mataram Islam Kingdom, and Ternate Tidore in Maluku. That's the next history of the Islam in Indonesia. Then what actually happened? Actually in Indonesia, they have ulama in every region in Indonesia. Miss Alinda just say about the Wali Songo. So example for the Islamic leader in Java Island, we have known as Wali Songo. Wali Songo is not 9 guidance or nine preachers of Islam. There are 9 person in the same era like Sunan Gresik Maulana Malik Ibrahim, Sunan Gunung Jati, Sunan Ampel, Sunan Bonang, Kalijogo, Kudus, Muria, Derajat, and Sunan Giri. And they spread Islam in same era but different regions. Just like in Surabaya and the surrounding, we have Sunan Ampel who teach Islam, and then in Gresik in the next city after Surabaya, we have Sunan Giri. Until the West Java, we have in Cirebon, we have Sunan Gunung Jati. And also the unique fact that every Islamic university in Indonesia use some Islamic university in Indonesia use the name of this Wali Songo as the university name. For example, this is UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya. UIN is basically from Universitas Islam Negeri, like Islamic Government University, Sunan Ampel Surabaya. But if you come to Bandung, you will meet UIN Sunan Gunung Jati, Islamic University of Government, Sunan Gunung Jati. But if you come to Yogyakarta, you will meet UIN Sunan Kalijogo. Just the example that the Wali Songo legacy still existed until now, but also it's not only the naming of university. The tourism, actually I'm not saying by tourism, but pilgrims pilgrims. So local people in Java, they have like pilgrim, but like it's like a tour from the East Java, from Sunan Ampel until the Cirebon, Sunan Gunung Jati, and they usually using ziarah Wali Songo. It's like a Wali Songo pilgrimage. They come using bus or their own transportation, and it takes 5 or 7 days because every day they visit one city. In one city, some have 1 or 2 sunan like Gresik or Surabaya, each city. Then they come until finish the nine Wali Songo. Then after Wali Songo, what happened then? Islam more growing. Then we know that in Indonesia we have pondok pesantren. Pondok pesantren is basically like a school, Islamic school, but with the boarding house. So the student, and in the pondok pesantren we say it's santri, non-student, santri. Santri stay for certain period like 3 years or 6 years, and they learn Islam education and formal education in same place, and they stay in there. So the parents can only visit maybe once a month, or maybe the student can back to their family for 6 or 3 months when the holiday come. But also it's not only for education, Islam and formal only. Santri have a big contribution against colonialism. So when Islam come, then era like 19th century, when the colonization come, like Netherlands come, England come, they have a colonialization area in Nusantara, in Indonesia. Indonesia say it's penjajahan, masa penjajahan, colonialism era. Then Santri also contribute to fight against colonialism. That's why Indonesia then more welcoming and accepting Islam as the part of their Indonesian, because they have contribution against colonialism. That's why until now Indonesia still develop Islam big until have organization in Indonesia. They have a lot of Islam organization in Indonesia, but mostly they have 2 biggest Islam organization. It was Nahdlatul Ulama and Muhammadiyah. Then what is the correlation between my story about the story of Islam come to Indonesia with the Arabic loanwords in Indonesian language? Actually, I take this. This is the guidelines of Indonesian and Arab transliteration. So when the colonialism happened in Indonesia, Netherlands, Belanda, Netherlands or another country who colonialist in Indonesia changed the phonetic system from the Arabic. Before Indonesia already have like Pekon, they use Arabic font, but using Malayu language. It we call Pekon, but also another have known Arabic system. But when the colonialism happened, they changed the system and use alphabetic font system using A, B, C, D, E until Z into Indonesian system language. And until now, until Indonesia get their freedom, until now, for formal education and formal institution, we will still use alphabetical phonetic system for commonly language in the daily language. That's why until now, Win Sunan Ampel also have a guidelines, because when the writing thesis or dissertation, they still using alphabetic. But because this is Islamic university, they must be meet like Islamic term. So that's why they still using these guidelines. Just like alif using apostrophe, ba become B, ta become T, and etc. Then what happened after that? Because the changing alphabetical system, phonetic system in Indonesia, then Indonesia have a phone, but in Arab don't have, and in the opposite is same. What Indonesia have but not in Arab is like vowels, a, I, U, E, O, and P and C and X. I will say it using Indonesian style because we talk about Indonesia. Because if I say in English, it will be P or C and X. But in Indonesia, we say it P, C, and X. But what Arabic have, but not in Indonesia, like ha, za, sod, dot, etc. But this different system, what Indonesia have, what Arabic have, what Indonesia don't have, but what Arabic don't have, they don't conflict each other, but they influence each other and blend in, assimilate into one system that was Bahasa Indonesia. They influence each other, then make a create many variety of Indonesian language. So I have only categorized 4 categorization about Arabic language in Indonesia. The first is the same word and same meaning. It's like what in Arab have same words and same meaning. It's just like ahad. Ahad is if you open the KBBI, the Indonesian dictionary by online, you can meet that ahad. It means the first day of the week. Is same like minggu, it's like Sunday, or the definition for a single, the one, the definition for the one. And then bab in KBBI, if you open to the Indonesian dictionary, please wait, I will open the dictionary. It say that bab, it means the first meaning is like big gate, kapura. Kapura, it means in Indonesia it's big gate. Then the chapter of the book, or and the other meaning is like problem. Then amal, awam, kitab. Actually, if you open the Indonesian dictionary, you will meet these same words have the same meaning in Arabic language. The second is the change word and same meaning. This is happen because what Mr. Khairul Anam say about the pronunciation, because have different place, like Arab and Indonesia must be have a different culture, a different habit, and a different pronunciation. It happened too, because it's like the example is like barokah. Easily they make it pronounce easily become berkah. Mr. Anam said that Indonesia know like E, they have 3 kind of E, E, and etc. Then abuya change become abuya. Then ustaz become ustad, darajah become derajat, because Indonesia some people, not some people, but mostly people in Indonesia, because if they don't usually using Arabic term in their life, so it's hard to speak in using the real term in Arab. So they change a bit, and for the language department of Indonesia, Badan Bahasa Indonesia, legalize this word become into the official word in dictionary. This is the example that I took from the Indonesian dictionary. Khabar become kabar because it's more easily for Indonesia to say. Lafaz become lafal. Rezeki, my name Rizki, become rezeki. And the day of the week in Indonesia, Senin, Selasa, Rabu, Kamis, Jumat, Sabtu, it's come from in Arabic term, Arabic vocabulary. It's like Senin from Isnaini, Selasa from Salasa, Rabu from Arba'a, and etc. And also Shaitan, Indonesia, not all Indonesian people can say it easily, so they make it easier to say setan. So if Indonesia maybe in the dark place or in the midnight, they walk alone and with setan, it means shaitan. And then the next is the third categorization is the change word and change meaning. Like luho become logat, nushatun become naskah, ufarat become kaparat. Then this one is a bad word. So if you try to learn Bahasa Indonesia, be careful, not only in Indonesia, but also in another country. If you have friends, you feel so friendly, then sometimes some friend will be naughtily teach you the bad word and push you to say it in the local person. Just be careful. And then fardu, it become perlu, and the same word and change meaning. I mean, two example for this. In Indonesia and Arab, huruf have the same name, same meaning. It means like phone. Then kalimah in Arab, Indonesia have their own term. It's kata, but kalimat in Indonesia it means sentence. So it will be different with Arabic and Indonesia for the kalimat example. And siasat. And what actually Arabic language contribution in Indonesian vocabulary? As we know that Islam become the majority of religion in Indonesia, so Arab also become the language of as Holy Quran language. Every Muslim person in Indonesia must be known as recited Quran. Even since when we have no in Indonesia, we know like TPA, Taman Pendidikan Al-Quran. It's like kindergarten or playground, but focusing on learning how to read Quran. And can you imagine when we start from age 3 or age 4 to learn Quran, it means that there are a lot of Arabic language contribution into our development of the language. So beside the mother language is Indonesian language, Arab start become the input of your second language since 3 or 4 years in Indonesia. The second is Islamic ritual language. Yes, because Islam not only for recite or read Quran only, but there are also ritual, salat, and anything else. So some Indonesian words or vocabulary, it's hard to find the equivalent Arabic words for this ritual. That's why then this Arabic language accepted and learn words become into Indonesian language. The third is Islamic tradition, culture, and art language. Yeah, it's not only ritual, but tradition, because Islam in Indonesia come with a soft approach. That's why they have assimilate with Indonesian culture too. That makes a new culture, then yeah, same like the second, they still hard to find the equivalent term in Indonesia for some term in Arabic for the tradition, culture, and art language. And the last is Arab language as Islamic academic language. Yes, until now, evenly we have Islamic university, not only Islamic university in Pondok Pesantren, in Islamic education, we still use Arab language as Islamic education academic language, just like we learned today. Then because I'm the teacher of Bahasa Indonesia teacher, so actually there are a lot of mistake around international people that say, when you meet in Indonesian people, do you speak Bahasa? That's a wrong way to say. I suggest that if you want to ask about can somebody speak Bahasa, do you speak Bahasa Indonesia? Because if you say only Bahasa in Indonesia means language, not Indonesian language. So if you say, do you speak Bahasa Indonesia, that's the correct way. And if you want to learn Bahasa Indonesia, I can share you these three things, these three sentence like siapa namamu. Siapa namamu is asking for name. Who are you? And you can answer with nama saya. Nama saya. My name is. Lalu kamu dari mana? Where do you come from? Where do you come from? You can say saya dari. Saya dari. You can say where your country from or where your city from. You can say like that. And bagaimana kabarmu? Bagaimana kabarmu? It's asking about how are you? And you can say kabar saya baik. Baik it means good. So, but if you have a bad condition, you can say kabar saya buruk. Okay, I think that's enough for me. And thank you. I will back to Miss Tristi.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Rizky Abrian, who has explained to us about the loan words from Arabic to Indonesian. So yeah, he has already explained everything since starting from how Islam entered Indonesia, and then the traders from Arabic and Persia they also spread the words that later are loaned or are borrowed by the Indonesian, and then they are diserap, yeah, they are borrowed by Indonesian.
Absorb maybe.
Deabsorbed. Okay, this is what we call as borrowing in English morphology. Okay, so we're going to have a question and answer session from the participant. If you want to ask a question, you can raise your hands, raise your virtual hand in the Zoom meeting, or just write them down in the chat box, as always. Yeah, by the way, I would like to ask you, Mr. Rizky, as we have known that some of Indonesian people, they have a non-standard way in writing loan words from Arabic. For example, sholat, the word sholat, we usually write them down as SHOLAT, right? But then I just found out lately that the standard form, it should be SALAT. And then also salad. So we have to pronounce it as salad. Is that right? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And then also there is, for example, what else? What else? Al-Quran, and then
Ijazah.
yeah, ijazah, and yeah, everything like that. What do you think about this? What can we do for Indonesian people? Is this something bad that we don't know how to write down loan words from Arabic in Indonesia in standard form?
Okay, actually in bahasa Indonesia we known as like bahasa yang baik dan benar, the good Indonesian language and the right Indonesian language. The good Indonesian language, it's used based on context, So, but the right Indonesian language, it's formally language of Indonesian language. So if I heard from the staff of bahasa, the Badan Bahasa Language Indonesian Language Department in Jakarta, they now try to make their own standardization. So they open in their website, in the digital dictionary of Indonesia, they have open share and let all the Indonesian people to share. Do you want to what can say propose the new word to be accepted into legally Indonesian vocabulary. So if you want to speak it with right bahasa Indonesia yang benar, the right Indonesian language, you can use guideline from the KBBI or the Indonesian dictionary. But if you want to use the good Indonesian language, baik, it depends to the context. Would you did you speak in the Indonesian with Islam education background, or just common Indonesian people? So if you say like that, but if you have your own mission to learn that this is the Arabic version, the right Arabic version of one terms, or you want to say this is the right term from Indonesian language, you can do as you want. But if we say the right Indonesian language, bahasa Indonesia yang benar, so you can check to the Indonesian dictionary. Maybe that can answer the question, Ms. Tristi.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, because I have a lot of confusion before this. For example, another example is the word Ramadan. It should be Ramadan, right, in Indonesian. But yeah, some of the ulama or some of the ustad, they highly advise us to pronounce it as Ramadan. Yeah, however, in standard Indonesian, it should be Ramadan. I don't know. Okay, so, okay, everyone, if you want to ask something, you can ask him through the chat box or through the raise hand feature. Okay, I think that all the participants here are all geniuses. because they have understood everything that you and also our previous speaker before. Okay. Okay, I don't think that there will be any questions. So before we close the event today, maybe you want to give any closing statement about your presentation?
Okay, my closing statement, because I was Indonesian pengajar BIPA teacher, Indonesian teacher for foreigner. So I hope for the foreigner, I hope COVID-19 will be over soon, so the foreigner can come to Indonesia, especially come to UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, and I hope so. UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya will have a BIPA department, so for foreigner, especially for Arab, can come to UIN Sunan Ampel, not only learn about Islam, but also learn about Bahasa Indonesia. But after I join this event, I have some idea to make Islamic based BIPA book. So BIPA book, so Islam based country can come Indonesia and learn bahasa Indonesia, especially with a specific term, mostly in Islamic term. Okay, maybe that's my closing statement for me, Mr. C. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we wish you luck so that your book can be written as soon as possible, inshallah. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for coming to this event. Before we close this event, I would like to invite the head of the Arabic Language and Literature Department of UIN Sunan Ampel Surabaya, Mrs. Himatul Khairah, MPD, to give her closing speech. To Mrs. Himatul Khairah, time is yours.
Yes, thank you very much for Mrs. Christie. Okay. Nah, ila Sayyidil Muhtaram, Ad-Doktur Agus Aditoni, Ami Kuliyatul Adab wal Ulumul Insaniyah, ila Jami'i Asatid wa Asatidat di Kuliyatil Adab Al-Muhtaramin, wa ila Lajnati International Short Course BSA 2021, wa ya ayyuha asatid di ayyi baladin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Awalan nashkuru azza wa jalla, nashkurullaha azza wa jalla alladzi qad aqana sikhah wa afiyah hatta nastati'u an najtami'a fi hadzal barnamij yaumain. Sanian sholatan wa salaman ila nabiyina Muhammadin alladzi qad hadana ila jihadil haqqi walladzi islam wal iman. Najibu anna fukhura bi annana fi halatil waba ma zala minna nastati'a an naltaqi wajhan imma bi iktiradiyah wa international short course in lugatain lugah al-arabiyah wa lugah injiliziyah. In short, fil injiliziyah, in short, as Afwan, ana roisa min su'batil lughah al-arabiyah wa adabiha fi kuliyatil adab wal ulumul insaniyah Sunan Ampel Surabaya. In short, I would like to deliver my deepest and my deepest gratitude for the participation of all participation in the 2021 International Short Course with the theme Arabic in Indonesia. The event was held for 2 days, which was attended by docents participants from 9 countries: Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Palestina, Philippines, Yemen, Malaysia, India, and Indonesia. Hopefully, this event can be a medium of friendship and give benefit. We will be glad if you can join our next events. I do apologize for the errors in the whole event. Well, kafaitu kalami huna biikra hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh. Thank you very much to Mrs. Himatul Khaira. And now I would like to invite Mr. Haris Afiuddin to recite the prayer to close this event today. To Mr. Haris Afiuddin, time's yours. Okay, I'm afraid that Mr. Haris Afiuddin is not in this room today because due to the bad connection. So,
Mr. Haris.
Yeah. Pak Haris.
Sebentar Pak Haris.
Nggih, wonten apa? Halo?
Okay, Pak Haris.
Halo?
Pak Haris, halo Pak Haris.
Halo?
Yeah. Okay, Pak Haris, I would like to invite you to recite the dua, the closing dua for today. Yeah.
Let's close our
hopefully, I hope.
period Al-Fatihah.
Karena saya Inggris ini syarat lagi.
Baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi. Badalilana biyam jamil hajat wa taqurna biyam jamil sayyat wa tarfa'una biha inda darajat wa tuballiguna biha Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'an wa amalan mutaqabbala wa rizqan wasi'an halan thayyiban. Subhanaka rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi barakatil Fatihah.
Alhamdulillah, we have come to the end of the second day of International Short Course 2020 held by the Arabic Language and Literature Department, UIN Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. I hope we all can receive many benefits from the very amazing speakers since the first day from the Arabic department and then also the second day. Thank you very much for all the participants who have joined since the day 1 until day 2 now, and I would like to remind you not to forget to fill the attendance form so that you can receive the certificate from the attendance form. Okay, and now let's close the whole event of this international short course by saying Hamdallah, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Thank
Syukran,
you, Bu
syukran.
Tristi. Bu Tristinya kok ada dua ini? Sama cantiknya. Satunya siapa?
Saya satu aja. Nggak ada lagi.
Anaknya ya, Bu Tristi. Salam kenal semuanya. Ini banyak.
Saya belum punya suami kok tiba-tiba punya anak.
YouTube-nya Bu Tristi. YouTube-nya gimana Bu Tristi?
Ini Pak Taufik sudah didokumentasi ya.
Sudah. Bu Ramadina YouTube-nya di stop gitu.
Saya lagi acara lah, kok di acara ini saya mati lampu, dipateni lampu. Tadinya terang benderang, terus lampunya dimatikan ini ya Allah.
Boleh bertanya, Bu?
Iya, yang penting